Racing. Daggies with you for a special Public Holiday Monday edition of Show Us Your Tips. Going to have a whirlwind look through both Warwick Farm and a quick look at Ballarat and what's going on there as well. But we kick off at Warwick Farm where the rail will be in the 3 metre mark. It started out soft this morning, but it's going to be a fast track. Beautiful drying conditions today in the west of Sydney. So I suggest you don't want to be too far from the pace. We're going to kick off with one of the better benchmark 68s you'll see, an 1100 metre 68 for the 3-year-olds, and some nice horses clashing here. But I'm going to go with the favourite in Facile, as I refresh my best bets, who trolled up lovely this time in, but tangled with learning to fly on a couple of occasions last time in. That was one of the stars of the 2-year-old division last season. Nice resumption, gets the lead according to the Racing New South Wales map, and is a good way to start the card here. I do think there's some nice horses though. I think Queen of the Mile is over the odds. Debuted in the Gimcrack last year, went out with a win at Bathurst, came back with a very impressive win at Wyong, and I don't generally find provincial form leading into cards like this, but I think it can run better than the market suggests. And lost next best, who broke through against a Spruik horse last time in. The second is a benchmark 72. These next two are odd little races, pretty much midways. Odd little races that have thrown up interesting small fields, but I think there's two clear hopes in the second. I'm going to go with Built on Top. Third up now, To the Mile from the inside gate for Keren. I'm hoping can punch up and almost lead here. And is the only horse with any proper metropolitan form from Diabelli, he's going okay, does need a win, and is a horse that has to beat. Next best is I Am So Cool, which I assume over here is I Am Inevitable's travelling partner, but given it'll lead on a sympathetic rail, I think that it can run better than 20s, but they're the three for me. The third is a benchmark 72 for the girls over the mile, and again, another midway. And again, I'm going to go with the horse that's going to have complete control here, and that's Oakfield Red Gum coming back from the midway on a Saturday. Some forms come out of that race that it led up in, but it gets hippo, gets control, and has a bunch of walkers chasing it. It's on top from Arts, who... Well, if it doesn't improve here after 2 mediocre runs, might be off to a broodmare sale near you, because I haven't seen a lot from it just yet. I don't know if the booking of Jet Stanley necessarily fills me with any confidence, so may well be a one-actor fair to third. The fourth is a 2200 metre benchmark 672, and I'm going to have something here on the leader again in Golden Passport. A couple of nice runs at again at provincial level, but gets sole control of this race as far as I can see here. With Celestial Fury riding shotgun for it. And at $11, I think it's going to give you a nice sight. It's on top with Brett Preble in the saddle for the Flying Waterhouse Bot team, another winner today in Melbourne, to go with the 7 or 8 they had yesterday across the country. From Shadow Park, who probably should have been to finish every run in this preparation, but it's what you get from the coil runners. You want every bit of $4, but wouldn't shock if it swooped down the outside and knocked them all out. The fifth is a maiden over the mile, and tricky little race, but I'm going to go with who the market's come up with as well in Ahuriri. Came up from Melbourne off a nice debut, led up, or set outside lead, I should say, at Newcastle last time out, and was quite strong. I think, according to the map here, it's going to lead. If it gets the rail here for Preble again, I think it's going to be very hard to beat. Mile will suit, and there's a bit of a tail in this race. So it is on top from the stablemate Jurisprudence, who gets the 1-1 and J-Mac, according to these maps, and $6 mark is a live chance. Best race on the card is race 6, 1,000 metre benchmark 100, and we get to see the resumption of probably the best horse on the card too in Spacewalk, a proper sprinter. Is always honest in some very strong stuff. Resuming here off 2 very nice trials. Inside gate for J-Mac. It's clearly the horse to beat. Probably just tags the stablemate in Thorwick, or better yet leads, given that Thorwick's just been scratched. On top for me, from Extremely Lucky, who does need to do something now, third up for Keren. Given if it doesn't, it might well be on the broodmare truck with Arts. So you want to see something third up here. The 7th is benchmark 72 and a good race over 1,400 metres. And I'm going to go with the leader again in convincibility. I think its Metro form, once it's come to town, has been very good. Not a lot of pressure. Amy Lucas riding well on these sort of horses and is the one they have to get past. From Capital Heart, who's going to be tagging and is going to have first crack at it, and around a $7, $8 mark. I think it's a worthwhile bet here. And Main Danger. And then Yuzuki, who the market's found on top. It was a good resumption given pretty much no opportunity first up. Kind of the feeling want to see one more and then get into it third up, but a win wouldn't surprise. And we wrap up with an 1,100 metre benchmark 72 and potentially the other best horse in the card resumes here in Written in Code. Does have work to do. It's going to be back in the field with Chad Schofield on, but two very impressive runs last time in, including starting favourite against Red Card up at Scone, where it made up a lot of ground late. Went to Queensland, tipped out, starting with no trials, which is interesting. But it has the ability, I think it does. It might not matter here. It's on top from Demiana, who had nothing go. Obviously had that weird race where nothing went its way. Resuming from the inside gate will be closer. And Biographer, who's going to give a great sider at $23. I think that's a crazy price. In a race, it's actually more than capable of winning with even luck. But that's a quick look through the Warwick Farm card. I'm going to make my best on the card. I'm going to start off with the winner, race 1 at number 10 at Facile. And my value, in a tricky day for a lot of value, although I didn't tip it on top, I'm going to say that Biographer is over the odds. Race 8, number 5, to finish that off. We head down to Ballarat, where the rail is in the 8 metre mark. Track's going to be good. An average card, just a typical provincial fare here, but average card, an average card at Ballarat, where we kick off with a 1,200 metre maiden. And it's an interesting little maiden. I'm going to play a couple here. I can have something on Mr. Vane, who I liked the resumption on the synthetic, but showed a real good fight, rolling where it rolled for there and fought out the finish, big gap back to third, and can do similar here from that gate. I think Fury is a crazy price for the Hawks team. Opened up at 40s. Wasn't a bad debut there. Strung up a little bit. Ground through the line. I think much better for that run and will improve. And that's about it in a tricky race to start the card. The second is an 1,100 metre maiden, where I am going to put the Price and Kent run on top. I really loved the trials of Gumdrops coming back out this time in. Last time in, we just saw it on heavy tracks. I think dry might be the key to it. It's been very impressive. Lovely run. It's on top, and we may all see it in town sooner rather than later. From Capre Omnia, who showed some nice fight before going out last time in, does have the wide gate to overcome there. The third is a 1,600 metre maiden, and I'm sticking with my man Mickey D here on Ursa. That wasn't a bad run. Second up there at Sandown. Inside gate now, he'll be further forward. Mickey D is flying. In the conversation for best jockey in Melbourne with Blake Shin, in my opinion. And it will get the best out of this horse from Harara Kane, who deserves to be the other main chance there. The fourth is another maiden, this time over 1,400 metres. I think War Frontier is the horse to beat. Damien Lane jumps on. A nice enough debut back at Pakenham behind a horse that's gone on to black type stuff in Toronto Terrier. Kicking off straight away at the 1,400 metres. Last trial was ridden out but responded well and fought off the challenges there. I think it has it in good stead to resume well here. From another couple, South Pole has trialled up okay. Gets a nice run as the mark's just Main Danger. And we'll watch on some of those other first starters. The fifth is a 1,400 metre benchmark 58, and I have to put Favourite Child on top. We'll bounce to the front here in this Apprentices race for Luke Cartwright. And coming off a nice win where it was strong through the line, it can do the same here. This is a pretty average race, and this has plenty more upside. It's on top. In a race like this, you always have to look for the best jockeys, and I am going to have something on American Liaison. Might well be my only best in the race, to be honest, but around the $11 mark for Carleen Heffel, I think runs better than the form suggests. And top honours, same. Logan McNeil jumps on, has been honest. Might play around those two on the each way rather than charge into this favourite, but I do think the fave's the horse to beat. We're getting to benchmark 58 land for the rest of this card. It's not a place I like to bet in this sort of grade, and I won't be, but we've got a mile 58 up next. No real interest from me. I thought about potentially having something on Shakib, but the trials, well, let's be honest, scared me off a little bit. Maybe has some upside kicking off here from New Zealand, but I'm yet to see it. See which way the market goes with it. The 7th, we've got a mile benchmark 64, and I really like the trial of Aquarello resuming here for Busserton, Young and Moore. Winning combination, and who actually picked up with a cup out wide there with Braden Starr on Friday, but I think can pick this one up as well. Should find a cosy spot. As I said, trials were good and is going to run well. From Bourbon Road, the Kiwi kicking off here has trialled well as well. Market Suggest is the main danger, but it is a live chance here. Just Jono does bring some Metropolitan form and is next best. And we'll wrap up with a 2,000 metre 64. And I'm going to put Norwegian Joy on top. I've liked its work, both its runs in. I like that Froggy's on now. It will go straight to the front. And there's not a great deal of chasers here. Around a $6 mark, I think it's going to give you a good each-way sight. From Dashing Duchess, who got out straight out to 2,000 metres, bolted in, and looks a nice style of a horse. I think has some upside. And around a 440, I'll look to cover both. And the more I think about this, the more that might be my best result. But 2 clear chances for me in the last. I'm going to make my best on the card. Race 3, number 11, Ursa for Mickey D. In a tricky day down south. And my value will make it race 5, number 5, American Liaison for Carleen Heffel. As well as race 1, number 3, Fury, I think is currently over the odds. It's a whirlwind look through public holiday in Sydney, at least, racing. And we'll be back with the Beaver for Kenzo and Cranbourne on Wednesday. Then we've got Turnbull Stakes Day to get stuck into next Friday. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Leave some feedback and subscribe, and we'll chat soon. Take care.